speak up about it, though. She was too
Why?
afraid of arguing with my dad.
Why?
He's very intimidating. But the worst
Listen,
thing was that he was openly cheating on her.
said, something like that? Shit like you? No, no way, no. Wat als ik al een dag toen ik zeggen, today dag werd aan alle really strange and quite inappropriate animation of strange stories. Actually, look at the titles of those videos. You know what I say? Quite inappropriate. Look at this one. My dad can't me and did it with me 6 times. Okay. But a girlfriend with 6 pack. Yeah. What's more? What is more to see? Please got me crying. Okay. Can I know that? Interesting. These are real stories. Real. Real, yeah, real. Our first story today is een young sugar baby. Een young sugar baby houdt een dinosaur. Dollar. Okay. Yeah, it sounds interesting enough.
Life's hard when you're a single mom. I fell pregnant when I was 16, and my daughter's father said
16.
he didn't want to be a parent so young, so he dumped me when I wouldn't have a termination. I dropped out of school when I had the baby. I called her Tamsin. It was
Thompson.
tough taking care of her alone. She didn't seem like other children. She needed a lot of extra care. When she was 5, she was diagnosed with autism, which explained her behavior, but it didn't make things easier for me. I was 22, no college degree, no job, nothing. One day, I was looking through Craigslist for ways to make money. I found an ad which said, well-off 45-year-old male looking for a lady that likes to be well treated. We can start with coffee and exchange resumes. Your
Damn.
time is valuable, and I'll make sure you don't feel undercompensated. Hoping for a drama-free, mutually beneficial arrangement. It was
Mutual beneficial. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
obvious he was looking for a sugar babe.
Oh,
I'd never
shit.
seen myself dating an older guy, but I was struggling to find work and still take care of my daughter. So I decided to send him a message, even though there wasn't a photo so I could see what he looked like. As I got ready to meet him, I felt
Jesus.
really nervous, but I told myself it was going to be fine. I was doing this to build a better life for Tamsin. We met at a Starbucks, and he said his name was Mark.
Damn, homeless over Essie. You can do your grandpa. Or your father, so it is. He's fucking 60 or something. God damn.
He was nothing like I expected. He wasn't 45.
Not yet.
He was in his 50s and overweight.
Oh, Lacey Lincoln. Oh, that was weird. I didn't like that. That was creepy. Just,
Still, he wasn't 45. He was in his 50s and
I didn't like
overweight.
that.
Still,
Quite
Mark was easy to talk to, so although I wasn't attracted to him, I figured we'd get on okay. His 2 kids were grown up, and he'd been divorced for years. At the end of our first date,
Just his case thing was this.
he said, "We should go out for dinner. I know a few good restaurants." I still wasn't sure I wanted a sugar daddy, but I said yes anyway. The restaurant
Kan je niet inderdaad, ik kan do anything so you isn't go as a
we
one
went to was incredible. My food cost over $100, and it tasted amazing.
Damn.
It was a nice place, but Mark was rather boring. I didn't really want to kiss him afterwards, but
What
I
is
did it
that?
anyway. Then he flew me and Tamsin first class to Hawaii. We stayed at a beautiful resort. It was lovely, but he spent so much money on me. I kind of felt guilty, like I owed him something, you know?
Wait. Why? If somebody spends money on you, that's their choice. You don't owe them anything. Yeah, it's nice of them, but you don't owe them. You can do something nice to them back, maybe, but you don't 이건가 엉가야 그것인가 수제이스.
Still, at least my money worries were over. Mark and I started seeing each other, but he didn't want us to move in together.
Oh,
Instead, he gave me a condo in the city and just came by whenever he wanted.
that's
He paid me
nice, I think.
a $6,000 monthly allowance. He even bought me a Lexus.
That isn't loud. $6,000. That's quite a lot.
I gotta
I
admit,
think I got
I
that for
loved
that.
my new life. I sent Tamsin to a private kindergarten and started taking some
Yeah,
college
that's
courses.
It's cool.
Finally, things were turning around for me. We dated for 2 years until he suddenly dropped me. I think
Oh.
he started seeing a younger
Huh.
woman, but all he said was,
That's old.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna end this. I didn't argue. I mean, it wasn't like there was a ring on my finger, but suddenly I had nothing. I hadn't graduated yet, and I'd never had a job. Who was going to hire me? I was so desperate.
Oh, sugar daddy.
I signed up for a sugar
Yes,
baby
I
website.
knew it. I
This
knew
time,
it.
it didn't go so well. I met up with this guy. Let's call him George. He was
Yeah.
in his late 40s, and from the moment I met him, I had a bad feeling. I was too desperate to care, though, so I started dating him. He wasn't quite as rich as Mark, but at least he gave me enough money to stay in college. But he was always demanding. I came to see him whenever he wanted, and he asked where I'd been if I didn't show up straight away. If I went out with friends, he'd get really jealous. I felt like
Maybe he has some friends. Are you out with your friends
he
again?
wanted to control me.
Yes.
When he gave me an engagement ring after just 3
No.
months. I
No.
knew I had to leave
Mm,
before I
yeah.
was in too deep.
Smart. Hey, good morning, sir. Good morning, guys. Sorry, it won't work out.
Saying, sorry, but it won't work out.
What actually has done for you?
George went nuts. He came over and tried to break down my door.
Please.
I had to call the cops to get him to leave. Yeah, he was a controlling maniac. I should never.
Are you at this stage? I don't know if it is a maniac or just a controlling psychopath.
have started seeing him.
Is
In
it
the
like a
end, I
demon?
took out a big loan to finance my degree and cover my bills. But it was worth it. Now I'm working in an office with a stable salary, and I don't have to rely on a man to take care of me. Do I recommend finding a sugar daddy? Absolutely not.
Maybe.
It's dangerous. A lot of those guys are troubled and just want to control the women they're with. But maybe, if I was having money problems, I'd do it again. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Yes, never learn from your mistakes. That's always the greatest. Oh my god, my dad can let and got 2 new girlfriends. Aye, that's, what mommy does for you, got a lot of friends, yeah. Say friends.
My dad had always been a ladies' man. You know, the kind of person who flirts with the supermarket cashier and wears a gold watch and chain. I don't know what my mom saw in him. She was
I have to go watch. Wait, 1 second, I have to go watch. Hey! Oh my god.
kind and caring. After I was born, she gave up her career as a nurse to stay home with me. She made a lot of sacrifices for us. Unlike my mom, Dad was selfish. He spent most of his wages on himself, and sometimes it was hard for Mom to pay all the bills with what was left.
Wait,
She wouldn't speak.
so she gets some girls and everything, and he gets only girls and alcohol? Yeah, if I was her, I would use him too. Come on.
Speak up about it, though. She was too
Why?
afraid of arguing with my dad.
Why?
He's very intimidating.
Listen.
But the worst thing was that he was openly cheating on her.
Listen. So am I like that? Shit on you? No. No way. No.
We all knew it. Sometimes he didn't come home until really late, if at all. And my mom often cried because of it. I remember when I was 9. I got so sick of him, I screamed, "You need to treat Mom with respect." But he just shrugged and said,
Oh,
"She gets what she deserves.
wait.
Every day I work hard to put food on the table. You better be grateful or
Wait.
move out and find your own job."
Okay, guy, I'm listening, guy.
Mom didn't say anything. That's how our family was. No one
But
dared to
yes.
speak out against my dad.
But
We were all scared of him. I wanted Mom to leave, but she didn't. So part of me blames her for what happened next. My dad's uncle died and left him a lot of money. A decent man would use it to build a better life for his family, right?
I know this man so long, I know this man so long, and I can say like, it's not going to do that. It's a selfish cunt. It's not going to do that. So, listen.
Not my dad. He
Listen.
didn't even tell us about the money.
Oh,
Instead,
damn.
he told Mom he was leaving her and walked out with just a small bag of things. I guess he figured he didn't need his stuff because he could buy everything new.
Just wait a second. I thought it was already cut in the list. Like that he stated here. If it was already cut in the list, that is that I'm wrong. What change between those two things? Yeah. Sure.
Mom was absolutely devastated. I never heard anyone cry so hard.
Aw, that's
I ran
sad.
over and hugged her, saying, "Don't worry, Mom. You still have me." But after they split up, she became
You're not good enough.
very depressed. She had to find a new job, but it had been too long since she'd left nursing.
Oh.
So she became a cashier.
Nothing wrong with that. A job is a job. Right? I don't think there's nothing wrong with being a cashier.
Couldn't afford to pay the rent on our home, so Mom and I moved
shut
into a
up.
studio apartment and slept on mattresses
Oh,
on the
that's
floor.
sad.
We lived like this for over a year, and I felt so
Oh,
bad for my mom. Dad didn't even try to get in touch with us.
Dad, how are you? How are you, Dad? Dad?
I was 13 when I was at the mall and saw my dad again. He was with a girl who was maybe 20 or something.
Oh, that's
I
really.
was disgusted.
That's really.
Did Dad divorce Mom to date this girl? I followed them back to their car, but it wasn't just any car, but a brand new BMW X5.
Damn.
How did Dad get the money
Your dad is a god. Ah, shit. He's got an older girls.
for it? I knew I had to find out where he was living and went to the police. I told them I didn't know where my father was, and the next day
Oh,
they
that's smart. That's actually that is smart.
gave me his address. I wanted to confront him and went over to his house, but when I got there, I was too scared to ring the bell. Instead, I snuck in the backyard and climbed up a tree where I could see directly into their living room. At first, nothing happened. I started to get bored, but just as I was about to go, I saw something shocking. My dad came into the room with two girls. One was the girl I'd seen the other day, and the other looked so similar they could have been sisters.
Yeah.
They were both in their 20s, while my dad was in his early 50s. I won't go into detail about
They go.
what I saw, but one woman was wearing a bunny costume, while the other
Hey, your dad has good taste.
was wearing a schoolgirl uniform. It was gross. Back home, I wasn't sure if I should tell my mom,
No.
but I decided she had the right to know.
Oh,
I told her about Dad's new house, but not the two women with
okay,
him.
that's not
I
fair.
didn't want to hurt her feelings more than necessary. Mom said she didn't mind, but I said, maybe Dad got all his money before you divorced. If that's the case, you deserve half of it.
Yeah.
My mom wasn't sure, but I kept pressuring her until she finally hired a lawyer to find out what was going on. It took a few months for the lawyer to get access to my dad's bank transactions, but when he did, we discovered my dad had inherited that money a week before he told Mom he wanted a divorce. I hated
Damn.
him more than ever. The courts found out his uncle had left my dad $2 million and awarded half of it to my mom. However, Dad had already spent over a quarter of his inheritance.
That's
after-
his cooking.
He paid my mom. He complained he only had $400,000
Oh
left.
no, He has only 400,000 likes. Oh my god. Komen. Oh, sånne komen. Ngomongkita doon isa sa kayang ngangay.
But my dad's shameless. Can you believe he actually came to my mom and asked her for forgiveness? Said he wanted to try again. But this time, even mom had had enough, and she told him to go
Why?
away. Life's great now. We don't have to worry about money anymore. And my mom even started online dating to find a new boyfriend. She told me about a couple of her dates, and it sounded like they were much nicer guys than my dad. I'm so proud of
The other two can't lose it
my
again.
mom for finally having the courage to stand up to him.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. 나 추가해서 알랑스는 랑을 너무 ang kangas gulaw and sila taas na only alang that yung guys and sila those types of videos. And last time the solo go subscribe it would really help me a lot to grow. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Ang sa alang gulaw sa tiko yung next video. Later.